So my name's Pam Alden, and I have been coming to Green here for, Green Church for a couple years now. My life has not been simple. I have been sexually abused, I was physically abused, and emotionally abused. I have been through financial burdens, some pretty bad, including in that some physical ailments, cancer, diabetes, and about 6 years ago, God led us to come up here to Oregon from California. At that point in my life, I was pretty depressed. I've had clinical depression for years, was diagnosed in my early 30s, and been struggling with that and anxiety for a long time. By the time we got up here to Oregon, I was pretty down. And to leave a town that we lived in for 35 years and leaving a lot of friends and family was pretty challenging for me. And last year, about this time last year, in August, my brother and closest sibling was murdered. And the same week, I lost a girlfriend to suicide, and a month before, one of my closest friends growing up. And I got to the point where I had just given up on life. I was suicidal. I didn't care about living anymore. I couldn't imagine going on any further. It just seemed like everything in my life just kept getting worse and worse and more challenging. And at one point, when we came to Green, Renee Kripe actually started talking to me about restoration. I thought, I don't know if I'm ready for this, and I really didn't want to talk to anybody yet, and I was just kind of down. But at some point, I finally realized God's kind of leading me there, and so I took restoration class. It was amazing. Through restoration, I learned that my perspective on God was completely skewed. I thought of God as mostly angry, often at me, vengeful, and very scary. And I discovered that God really is loving and kind and amazing, and He loves me as His daughter, and that just made a huge difference. I also realized that a lot of my hurt and a lot of pain was coming from the enemy. I never really talked about that before with anybody, and I discovered that the enemy's out there, and he just kept trying to attack me. And so through restoration, I learned that I have power over that. I learned to have tools to take my thoughts captive and to put on my armor of God every day and to be protected by God. I learned that I can lean on Him at any time. And the change in me has been amazing. I mean, I was so just held captive by these strongholds of guilt and shame and fear and anxiety. And I just feel like there's a sense of freedom now. My chains have been broken. I feel like I'm a whole new person. And it's just been amazing and incredible. And I can't tell you how much that means to me to actually have life back, to have hope back. I feel like that's one thing I lost, was complete faith in God and my hope. I had none. And now I have a reason to live. I have hope. I have all of that back again. And I'm a much joyful and much more amazing person. And the best thing is other people are noticing. And I'm able to turn them around and point them right back to God and thank Him for doing this for me.